Big 14, you know what the fuck going on. Hey, hold up, take a moment, count my guap, count my guap. All these rags bumming in, they bumming in. Hold up, hey, count my guap, count my guap. Can I stop coming in, coming in? Put up in the drop top, she dropped it. I put up in the drop top, she dropped it. My diamonds dancing high skies, they hold this. My diamonds dancing high skies, they hold this. Yeah, hold up. I don't know what planet I'm on. I'm a king, little bitch, watch the throne. Feel like bottom, I'll top off your arm. Yeah, steady, cause it heavy. Yeah, bitch, I'm ballin' hard just like a maverick. Money stretch long, little bitch like elastic. Now that bitch steady calling me Mr. Fantastic. Yeah. No, I keep a ratchet. If you play, boy, I turn your ass to acid. Automatic, doom, 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 bill, bitch, I'm blasting. Yeah, put you in a casket. Money sits long, it's elastic. I don't know what planet I'm on. I'm a king, little bitch, watch the throne. I feel like Votto, I'll chop off your arm. Take a moment, count my guap, count my guap. Yeah. All these rags bumming in, they bumming in. Hey, count my guap, count my guap. Can I stop coming in, coming in? Yeah. Put up in the drop top, she dropped it. I put up in the drop top, she dropped it. My diamonds dancing high skies, they hold this. My diamonds dancing high skies.
Astral worlds, my planet, my home. Cost too high, the fumes too strong. Mix this cup for way too long. Add it up, don't subtract it. Yeah. 46 with me and let's get blasted. Straight up, Lambo drop like a dragon. Can't fall asleep at night cause they attacking. Yeah. The cool go insane. This if it go, they be blame. We don't live the same.
But Rodgers is a fucking fossil. This team's in shambles. The Steelers are a wagon at home. It's going to be a gross fucking game. And I'm going right back to fading the Jets.
And once again, the 49ers and Kyle Shanahan, when the lights are bright, do not show up and they fold. Their receivers are banged up. The ones out there couldn't catch shit. Their defense is taking a step back. This 49ers team is a fucking joke. And I'm looking at you, Kyle Shanahan. You're supposed to be that guy.
In the postseason for the first time in his career, and they find a way to fucking blow it. Look, we should have known the Yankees bullpen was going to come back and bite them in the ass at some point. They've been a little bit too good. But my goodness, did we think it was going to be Big Christmas?
What's going on, chat? Happy BTL Monday, episode 594 piece. As always, hold the fry, joined by your two hosts, Krabs and Jovan, presented by SeatGeek. If you're going to any games this weekend, make sure you buy your tickets on SeatGeek. Use promo code Bookit10 and get 10% off every single purchase on SeatGeek. If you're not using that app already to buy your tickets, literally, what do you do? Okay, I've used it before we even started promoting them. SeatGeek, cheap fees. If you're not buying your tickets already on there, you should go check it out. All right? Jovan, how we doing? Happy Monday.
Yeah, happy Monday, Krabs.
Sure.
See you back.
We got destroyed this weekend with the plays. Not good. Not good. I'll just get right to it. Not great. Chad, how we doing? You guys alive after the 49ers last night, after Sunday Night Football? You guys alive after that square NFL Sunday? I hope you are. All right, we're going to talk about it. We're going to talk about college football a little bit too here in a second. And then obviously esteemed Krabs coming up. We got some winners for today. Not the greatest slate of all time. It ain't much, but it's honest work. Okay, so we're going to get in the lab here, and we're going to find some winners. Plain and simple. Okay? Why don't we go ahead and talk about some college football, Jovan? I want to talk a little bit about Saturday. We could take a peep at, the college football playoff landscape here. Chat, was it a crazy Saturday? Was it everything you expected or wanted? How did the bets go? And what are we thinking about the college football playoffs right now? It's really starting to come together. The majority of the teams are probably locked in right now, Jovan. Obviously, the Ducks, I mean, what a season they had, undefeated. They deserve it. Texas winning big on the road there. The Irish pretty much locked in as well. Tennessee, although you and me have some qualms with Tennessee, they're probably in it right now. Penn State and Ohio State as well, too. And then I guess we could talk about Georgia and Indiana as well. But, Jovan, I want to go ahead and give you the floor. Where's your head at with the college football playoff landscape, after the rivalry weekend that we just had?
I think the ACC championship is going to be incredibly interesting to see what they do with that, especially if SMU ends up losing, because as much as I hate SMU, there should be absolutely no scenario where they would be punished if they lost that game, which I don't honestly think they're going to, but if they do, that's my one concern, because they're going to find whatever excuse to put Alabama or South Carolina in over either of the ACC teams, whether it's Miami, who's down there with them now, or SMU if they were to catch a loss. That's my concern, because I would really hate to see that.
I guess my counter to that would be Cam Ward on Miami. I wouldn't be surprised if the committee wants to see him in there, although I think we could both agree that Miami a little bit overrated, and their defense just simply isn't good.
I was looking at Miami gets that last spot in, which would be awesome. We might get a Catholics versus Convicts in South Bend, which would be, cinema.
Sign me up.
Cinema.
Sign me up for that. That would be absurd. Prime is gassing up SMU, as he probably should be. SMU joins the ACC, and they come in here like they've been in the ACC for years, like they own the place. Pisses me off. But, they deserve all the credit they have. After a bad loss early on in the season, they locked in, went undefeated in the ACC in their first season. Unbelievable. We'll see what happens in that ACC title, Jovan. God, we've got some great games coming up this weekend. What are your thoughts on Georgia? I want to hear your thoughts on Georgia. Do they have to win the SEC championship to get in? Are they in no matter what? What do you think?
They should be in, but I feel like they'll be significantly overseeded regardless of what happens, because can't really fault them again. Can't fault them for playing an extra game as well as losing to a team you already beat in a rematch. So like they should pretty obviously be in, but I'll be interested to see if they do lose, which again, I don't think you should fault them too much, where they drop to.
All right. I see Lauren in chat dropping the horns, as you should. Great win. I'm glad you were there as well, Lauren. You got to see that win. Maybe Texas is different this season. Maybe they get it done. We'll see. They look good so far. Happy you got to sweat out that win in person, LCWs. At least somebody won in that game. I know the squad ride was cake, but we got a big Texas win. So, Jovan, thoughts on Indiana? They're probably in no matter what as well. They've had some help from other teams losing, right? They're probably in that puppy no matter what.
They should be. I think there'll be a discourse if they ended up I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen in that Big Ten championship between Oregon and Penn State, and then God forbid we have more clutter, I don't know, near the bottom middle of that after the other conference championship games. But yeah, there should be no debate.
Yep. Snacks is asking good questions right now in the chat. Can someone let me know if you win the conference title game, you get a top seed, no doubt, right? So correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe the top four conferences, whoever wins those conferences, get seeded. I guess maybe they pick, but those teams get the 1 through the 4 seeds. And then the best group of 5 team also gets an audit bid, but that doesn't mean they're necessarily getting that 5th spot. It depends on how they end up, right? So Boise, I believe, is the front runner, right? It's going to come down to that Boise UNLV game. It's on Friday. That's going to be electric. We can talk about that too. But Jovan, a lot can still happen. But that seed is not guaranteed to be the 5 seeds. If there's other teams, auto bids that the committee thinks are better, they're going to put them ahead of Boise, even if they get that auto group of 5 bid to the college football playoffs, correct?
Yeah, there should be no shot that Boise, even if they went as a 5 seed, or even gets the 4 seed, because the only thing you could argue, I guess, is that they're better than Arizona State or Iowa State, regardless of who wins the Big 12, and they're not. So they should, that win should catapult, especially if it's Arizona State, who, they're playing fucking amazing right now. So I think they would demolish Boise State. But that's a whole different conversation. It should be Arizona State or the Big 12 winner in general.
All right. And then let's take a peep at some of these other games or teams that need to win this week. We talked about Boise and that UNLV game, Jovan. I'm pretty sure only one of those 2 teams is going to be getting into the playoffs, correct? Even if it's a, shootout, 35-34 type game, it's probably only going to be one of those 2 teams making it in.
Yeah, they're definitely not both making it in.
If
But
Boise
I
loses
honestly,
that game, they're probably still not getting in, right?
they shouldn't.
They
And
shouldn't.
with the log jam at the bottom, especially because it's SEC teams, there's no shot.
Yeah, Ty goes to the SEC school. Ty will go to the Gamecocks. Ty will go to Bama in that case, right?
See, the
I
thing
agree.
that makes it so difficult to figure out, and the same for the committee, they want to get one of Alabama or South Carolina in there. If there's a team between the two of them that deserves it, it's definitely South Carolina. But the problem is the head-to-head exists. So if they put one in, they're probably going to have to find a way to squeeze both of them in, which is why I'm very worried about, like, Miami should still probably be in the back end of the playoff, but they're not going to be. And then SMU, if they were to lose, they're going to find every excuse, every reason, every way to discredit them possible, because you probably need to put both of them in, which is a scary thought.
All right, let's say if Clemson, I got one more scenario for you. Let's say Clemson loses to SMU. Is Clemson out of that puppy? And then maybe Miami has a pulse?
Clemson's definitely out with
Okay.
a loss. They're not getting in with a win, especially being that they lost to South Carolina last week. I don't know how, but they did. It's just going to have to be one of those two SEC teams, which again would be an interesting debate, because I feel like if that's the only domino that falls towards the bottom of the playoff, then you got to pick between Alabama and South Carolina, because they're not picking Miami.
Yep. I think I agree. Even with Cam Ward's, people were talking about Heisman early on this season. I don't know if that's enough. You're probably right. All right, we'll see how it plays out, chat. Let's pivot. Let's talk a little bit about the NFL here. I don't want to spend too much time talking about the weekend, but there's a couple combos that need to be had. Number one, Josh Allen MVP. Go ahead and cash those tickets. This is one of the greatest plays of all time. Probably not. Probably overreacting, but one of the greatest plays of the season. Jovan, I mean, this could not have been planned. First off, and he caught the ball with one arm. Let's start there. Amari Cooper, I don't even know if he knew that ball was coming yet. Either way, he makes an incredible play with one arm. As he's getting tackled by two dudes, he pitches the ball off to Josh Allen. Next thing you know, he's in the end zone. I mean, he looked like a little kid outside playing in the first snow of the year. Josh Allen did in that game. He's a different type of locked. He's a different type of locked in. Sure, he had some help with that other team playing like absolute rat shit, some injuries as well. And the 49ers are not meant to play in that weather. Let's not kid ourselves. It's the same thing as the Dolphins. Whenever they play in cold weather, typically they don't come through. 49ers aren't meant for that. That's on me for giving out a shit bet and me losing coins on San Francisco myself. They were not ready. I think that team is probably dead, and the Bills look different this season. Are they Super Bowl favorites right now, Jovan, to you? Do you put them ahead of the Chiefs with how the Bills have looked so far this season, or do you think they'll find a way to fuck it up once again like they typically do?
No, I think as far as we're talking AFC, I mean, I'd say the Bills are pretty easily the favorites in my eyes. And Chiefs have looked great. Obviously, they played a bunch of close games, or haven't looked great. They've played a bunch of close games. And what have we found out about all those teams where all the luck goes their way in the regular season? Doesn't happen. I mean, we saw it with the Eagles last year. They got lucky in every single game, found a way to win, whether it was just lucky plays or the refs at the end, and the Chiefs are in that same boat. And what do you know? That's going to come to an end very soon. It's not just like the classic Pat Mahomes team that you see year in, year out, where like surely they're going to get it done. There's been no like real flashes of dominance from the Chiefs this year, which is kind of odd. Obviously, it's very hard to three-peat in any sport, which is why it's kind of hard to fathom that being done. But yeah, the Bills look incredible. This is the best Bills team, and even though you might have lost coins, we were both in the same headspace early in the season talking about how good this Bills team was going to be, and it was addition by subtraction with Stephon Diggs. So like ever since that, even when he's dealing with a pretty depleted and just not incredibly good receiver core, like the Bills look fantastic. Definitely helps that they're facing a Niners team in the snow that was missing half the roster, but do what you got to do. Chiefs can't do that against the Panthers.
It's facts. So many chats asking where's Goots at. Goots, travel day for him. Goots is traveling to the West Coast. His sister is getting married. So can we clap it up? Gootsy, travel day. W's there. Love to see it. Love to see it. He'll be back potentially. Yeah, potentially tomorrow and Wednesday. Gootsy will be, depending on how busy he is. But this week he'll be off and on. Okay.
W. Joshies too. People sleep.
Yes.
Married narrative.
How about that?
I guess maybe they have TMA tomorrow. You can ask him up for that.
W spoiler though. Love it. I think I already saw an Instagram post though. It's okay. It's public. W Joshi
cool. I know it's public, but I don't know if they know.
Sure. W Joshy for making a move. Making a move this weekend. Popping the question. Can we clap it up for Joshy? I don't even know if he's in chat right now. Can we get some W's going for Joshy? It's not easy. He made the right move. I'm happy for him. Good-ass kid. Good things happen to good people. W Joshy. Okay? Drop those W's. I'm not seeing nearly enough. Come on. Come on. All right. Well, let's stay locked in here. I got a couple more things I want to talk about here, Jovan. Number one, I feel like this is something you might want to talk about or at least look at again. How about Mike Evans with just an incredible catch and an incredible game? Is Mike Evans going to get 1,000 yards once again? The people doubt it, right? He's not on pace, but Jovan, maybe some new life here for the Bucs. New life for Mike Evans, your guy, future Hall of Famer.
Hey, even before he dropped 118, I've been telling you guys for weeks that they've been planning on doing whatever it takes to get him the ball and feed him the ball. Not that like in this game they went off script to feed him the ball because you want to feed the ball to your best player playing the Panthers secondary, but dropped 118. He's just a little bit over 500 yards for the season. You got 5 games left where he needs just under 100 yards a game to get there. He's going to get there. So again, this is why it took yesterday and 5,000 different things, and by itself, I'm going to be taking Mike Evans yards the rest of the season. The only decent defense they play the rest of the year is the Chargers. You get the Raiders, the Panthers, the Saints, and the Cowboys. Other than that, there's not a world that if he stays healthy, he's not getting that streak.
How about the Panthers fighting yesterday? How about Bryce Young and co looking a little bit better? I guess it couldn't get worse.
He's looked fantastic the last couple weeks. Like he hasn't just looked not bad. Like he's looked incredible. Like this is one of the craziest turnarounds midseason I think I've ever seen. And it's even better for the Panthers. Even better for the Panthers. Like the last couple weeks, there's nothing you could dream for better that they're playing close and he looks great, but they also are losing the games to maintain draft stock. So
you're right. It's a win-win.
W's for them. But he looks great, dude. All it took was a little step back, get the confidence back, learn under Andy for a little bit, and he is great. Like I shit on the Bucs defense a lot, and they were absolutely terrible yesterday. Don't get me wrong, but to see him do what he did, that was like classic Bama Bryce Young playmaking. So
yeah,
all the Bryce haters are awfully quiet recently.
Yeah, and like you said, they played just good enough where you got to be confident or at least happy with the young QB you have, looking much better, but they're not winning games. Perfect. It's the exact spot they want to be in. They want to keep losing every game the rest of the season, get that number 1 pick, right?
Yeah.
And gosh, man, I had a weird feeling about Baker going down there playing against his former team, and that game being weird and close, lights being a little too bright. Lights are never too bright for Baker, probably not the right way to put it, but good to see the Panthers cover that game. Had a weird feeling it was going to be a close one. Bryce Young showing up, showing out, and doing just enough. Love to see it. All right. What's up, C-Dot? How we doing? We got some sub banks coming in as well. We got Spain PNR coming in, resubbing. We got a Hype Train level 1 moving and grooving. We got Moose2727 coming in, resubbing. Giovanni says, let's get some winners today, boys. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Why not? A couple other subbies as well. Slim Smith coming in. We got Big Dilf coming in. Let's go Broncos, baby, he's saying. We'll talk about that game plenty. Don't worry. T. Crizzy Betts coming in, resubbing as well. No to Crancher. Brian C. 11 months with the Goats. Much love to the Bookit crew. Wow, a lot of subbies coming in. Appreciate you guys. Happy Monday. Thank you for joining us. All right. If you're a real goat, you can send a link to your gambling buddies in your group chat to the Twitch or YouTube. Say, hey, we're crafting up winners for tonight. Slate's not great, but the BTL boys are finding winners. Get in here. All right. If you want to help out, that helps immensely. Okay, guys? We appreciate you. W's. Krabs unsuccessfully trying to fade the Steelers again. Love that. Yep. Unbelievable game from Russell Wilson and the Steelers. It's just crazy. Why do I keep fading them? They keep coming through. One of the squarest days in NFL history yesterday. But we move. We move. Jovan, any other comments in the NFL? I guess we can roast Aaron Rodgers here for a sec. He sucks. And so do the Jets.
Yeah, Jets are really, really bad. The Seahawks tried to give them that game in pretty much every single way. It was kind of crazy. I know outside of there are a lot of fluke plays, I guess, both ways with the Leonard Williams pick 6, but like the special teams, I don't know if I've seen a worse game by a special teams unit just as far as like kick and punt returns than what the Seahawks did, giving the Jets the ball in their territory 50,000 times, and they still found a way to mess it up. So I mean, I can't act like I'm surprised because it's the Jets and that organization, but they're really bad. And shout out the Seahawks. That's a massive win for them to stay in the division race there because the Rams are gaining steam.
Yep. 100% right. The Jets, I don't think they've come through a single time in a sharp spot. Maybe one. Probably forgetting about it with all the
Texans
cake.
game.
Sure. Texans game, they came through. How could I forget? The one time they actually fucking have. Good call. Besides that, though, I mean, they've been sharp every single game this season, and I don't even know if they've come through a second time. It's been a bloodbath. If you're sharp betting the Jets this season, I think we got to probably call it. Throw in the towel here. Enough is enough. I mean, they keep losing. Let's move. Aaron Rodgers, take some accountability. Be an adult. Grow up, some might say. Okay? Scrolling through the rest of this board. Kirk Cousins, terrible game. Falcons, terrible bet. I apologize for that one. Not the right read. Kirk Cousins looked drunk out there. Shout out the Rams. Yeah, they did. Shout out the Rams, though, Jovan. Great call on the Rams, -2.5 or ML, whatever you played. They came through. You were right.
Yeah, that was smart.
God, the Eagles won again. Can't make it up.
Ravens, bad. Justin Tucker, bad. Justin Tucker, start hanging out with the family, dude. Respectfully. Just really bad performance. The kids need you at home, dude, packing their lunches or something because that was bad. Really bad.
Let me ask you this, Jovan. Let's say Justin Tucker misses every single kick, an extra point for the rest of the regular season. Does he get cut? Does he get cut next game? Does he get cut at the end of the season? Let's say he misses in this made-up scenario. He misses every single extra point and every single field goal. Not rooting for it, just saying in this weird world where I'm making up this, thing happening. Is he getting cut? Probably not still.
No, dude.
You probably ride it out.
The only way he is not the kicker of the Ravens for as long as he says he wants to be is it would be like him having to put his pride aside and saying, all right, I'm stepping off.
Yeah.
Like there's
or injury, obviously, but
or injury, or maybe a fake injury. Something.
He could miss every single kick or extra point the rest of the regular season. He probably still has a job heading into the postseason. Yep.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's how you know you made a lot of kicks. Jeez.
Yeah, I mean, he deserves the benefit of the doubt. I know he's been terrible this season, but there's only so much you can do, dude. This is, I mean, it's got to be his last season regardless. After the way this is going, he's got to be hanging him up, but he's
not hanging shit up.
He should be. He should be.
We'll see. I feel like Justin Tucker's got a couple kicks left in him and doesn't seem like the kind of guy that would quit, but it's been weird watching him this season, man. He's off.
He's got the
yips,
off, dude.
Mm-hmm. I saw the videos of him fucking with Patrick Mahomes, the whole helmet thing last year when he's putting the helmets and the football was right in front of Pat Mahomes warming up. People are like, well, you mess with the devil and this is what happens. You mess with Pat Mahomes, this is what happens, dude.
Yeah.
Karma.
I mean, especially your Lamar Jackson in the playoffs, who already we know doesn't come through. So, like, you're going to need field goal kickers. And if you can't make your kicks, that team's fucked.
Yeah. Fucked. 100%. All right. Well, I still believe in the Ravens, even after that bad loss. I will be buying stock once we get into the postseason on them, on the Bills. I'll probably wait for another loss, buy stock in them again. And shit, maybe even the Commanders. They took care of business on Sunday.
Yeah,
big time win. JD5 showing up. Cliff Kingsbury showing up. Great to see us get back in the win column.
Needed one of those games against the team you probably should do that against.
Yep. Shout outs Will Levis and Calvin Ridley. He probably could have had 200 yards and 2 touchdowns. A couple overthrows, couple drops. W's Jets.
Yeah. Shout out Levis.
W's Jets.
Craziest part, I was talking to Trent about this. Levis is still like soaring over pace for like his healthy 17-game season, which is insane.
Wow. You had to throw in that little healthy part at the end there. He's not on pace. He's not going to go more than this season, right? But if he were to play in every game.
If we were to play in every game, he is quite a bit over pace, yeah.
Wow, that's crazy. Okay, maybe he's not playing as bad as people are saying, but
no, he's been kind of good.
Ugly. All right. Yeah, he picked it up in the second half against the Commanders, that's for sure. But hey, enough talking about the Commanders. All right, we got a big time win. Prayers up for Austin Eckler as well. He's on the IR. He might miss the rest of the season. I hope he's okay. Back-to-back concussions, not good. We might not see him for a while. Prayers up for Eckler. All right. We got time for steamed crabs? I feel like we do. Real quick here. Let's get to it. I'll go ahead and run the graphic here, guys. As soon as I can find it.
I got it.
Well, Chad, I wish I could say this is not real, but it is. It's real. Okay. I'm over here on a Saturday night watching the Hokies. And by the way, Hokies, W win against UVA. They suck. They suck at football. We should beat them like that every time we play them. They stick. There's levels to this shit. They're not on ours. Okay. But I'm sitting there watching our shit coach and our shit team, who's just a significant underperformer, probably a top 5 underperformer in college football this season with all the hype they had, all the talent they had. And then I get a notif this morning after all that shit this weekend that we're going to see Brad Cornelsen taking over the reins, Jovan, and he's going to get another chance to, be in the spotlight, and he's going to be the head coach of the Bearcats once they get into that bowl game. First off, shout out the Bearcats coming through this weekend. I believe that might have been on Friday or Thursday, whenever it was. Bet on them. They came through. W's there. W Sam Houston's. Okay. And look, they've turned it around this season. They were the unluckiest team in college football last year. They've had luck on their side this season, and we bet on them. They made us coins. Okay, so Brad Cornelsen, I'm definitely not as much of a hater as I was last year. But you're telling me Baldy is getting another chance in the spotlight, Jovan? He's going to get a chance to coach in the bowl game? Over under 4.5 jet sweeps in this one. He's going to make it about himself. We don't even have... We've got top 100 QBs decommitting at BT this week. We've got 6-6 records after people are saying we're going to win the ACC. We clearly don't have our head coach of the future. He's 0 for whatever in one-score games this season. Absolutely embarrassing. And then we got Baldy taking back over, taking command, and getting a chance to shine after a great season. Shit, he might end up being the head coach of BT after this year. Bring him back. Could it be worse than the play calling we had this season? Probably not, to be honest with you. Add this to the list, Chattamusha. Add it to the list. Brad Cornelsen. And you know what? I can't even say he doesn't deserve it. After the year Sam Houston's had, the Bearcats have had, Jovan, he kind of does.
Yeah,
kind of does.
Equally.
Unbelievable. Brad Cornelsen back. Did not have that on my bingo cards, and that does not make me happy. Want that on record. Unbelievable. All right, we got Festa 030 coming in, resubbing. Love to see that. A newbie. 3 months. W Festa. Hope you're enjoying the show.
Hello.
Hope you're following. We got Stony Panda coming in. Crazy name. W resub for 12 months. Happy 1 year. Stony Panda. Dubs. All right,
You want a backup steam Krabs? Talk about college football beefs.
What, the flag planting and flag planting, the fights and the mace and shit? First of all, let's put the mace away. I'll go ahead and get that on right. No need. Okay, if you got to step away and you got to let the players deke it out on the field, you let them deke it out. No need. Ridiculous overreaction. And come on, let's keep the pepper spray in the pockets. What the fuck are we doing? I love this shit. I love the drama. I love the fights as long as nobody's getting hurt. Nobody's overstepping their boundaries here. Guys, this is college football. Okay, this is what it's all about. All right, this is not the NFL. This is not professional. This is not, it's a different ballgame, right? These teams for hundreds of years, some of them have had rivalry, hatred, right? You got recruits, decommitting, recommitting, going back and forth. You got, players playing each other for 4 straight years. Sometimes you lose all 4. You hate that team's guts for the rest of your life. This shit matters to these guys. And for some of them, it'll be the last time they go on a field and the last time and the most important part of their life until they got to go sit at a desk and sell some insurance, right? It's just plain and simple facts. If they want to go out there and make the rivalry a little more heated, if they want to go out there and get a win on the other team's home field and plant a flag after, well, they kind of deserved it. They kind of deserved it, right? If you don't want that to happen, don't let a team come in and beat your ass at home.
Yeah.
I love this stuff. I think it's great.
I love it to a degree. Because it's like, you played a team that could barely throw a forward pass. And, this was the biggest gap there's been in just the Ohio State-Michigan game, I guess we're talking. But a lot of the other teams did it. Biggest gap on paper that there's been in some time, and Ohio State still found a way to lose. So, if you're Michigan and you go in there, yeah, sure as hell you deserve to plant a flag in the game. And if you're Ohio State, Mullings, I think, had it said in his interview, you had 60 minutes to fight on the field. And you guys couldn't do shit against a team that you were somehow, some way overmatched by, which was crazy. Also sucks. I would love to reiterate that because I've said that all season.
I know. When the lights are bright, he sucks. When the lights are dim, he's great. He's great.
Yeah, he's good against Purdue. Good against Purdue. Yep. Good against teams that can't do shit against them. But you face Michigan. Oh, look, There's the Will Howard we all know. But
Mm.
yeah, like don't lose the game. Like it's not very hard. I don't know what you're getting pissed about. If you don't want a team to plant a flag on your field, don't lose as 20.5-point favorites to a team that, again, can barely throw a forward pass. But I said the same thing when I tweeted this too. When Baker Mayfield planted the flag, and I'm not just saying this because he's a Buck, like that was cool. Because like that had aura. Nobody really had done it too much at that point. When we get to Michigan doing it, NC State doing it, Florida doing it, all these teams doing it at the same time, it kind of gets a little less cool. Kind of gets a little more into the corny territory. So like as fun as it is, I love seeing the beef. I love seeing the rivalry. I love to see what it all means. When everybody does it, it's kind of getting a little old quickly.
Mm. And, Michigan, correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe Michigan's beaten Ohio State the last 4 times.
Yeah,
They played them at least 3.
There was a whole graduating class for Ohio State that didn't beat the team up north one time. Crazy to think about.
If you ask me, if anybody deserves to pull some shit like that and plant a flag, it's probably that Michigan team.
Yeah, Florida also does too, sneakily. They did it on dog shit FSU team, but the script was flipped last year, and FSU literally they cut a piece out of their field. Like that was a real thing.
You can't maybe don't be cutting pieces off the field and taking them with you. That might be a little bit overstepping the boundaries, right? But come on, get your celebration in, get hype. Don't hurt anybody. Don't fight. Take other players down to the ground and make it more ridiculous than it already is. Plant your flag, talk your shit, and go about your day. And if you have a problem with it, don't lose.
Yes, I know it's a tradition, and so is planting a flag at this point. Don't fucking lose. Like it's not hard. Yep. Your whole tradition is taking a part of their field, and you're upset because they put a flag on yours when they beat you by 20 points and you fumble the ball 5 times. Grow up. And I guess while we're talking about college football stuff, super rare James Franklin W this weekend too. I don't know if you saw that, but the Maryland coach was getting pissed because they were scoring and kind of running up the score at the end, and he came back and said, first of all, you have your 1s on the field. I have my 3s and 4s on the field. Like the only way – he didn't say it directly like this, but I know what he meant. He was like, they deserve to play meaningful football. And he's like, yeah, I want to keep the guys that are the 3 and 4s and keep them out of the fucking portal. So, yeah, when they're in the game, I want to let them play, not just run the clock out and run the ball. Like if you're in that point, you're blitzing, like you're on offense with your 1s trying to score. Just grow up, dude. Like, especially like you made a good point too. It's like it's college football playoff. They look at how much you beat teams by. Talk about
he's
Miami.
Trying to go to the fucking playoffs, bro.
Yeah, teams like Miami that have closer margins, like we shit on them. Like Indiana, one of the biggest sticking points they have is that they beat the shit out of all these other teams, even though they haven't played the strongest schedule. Like James Franklin was for sure right. Like as much as he's kind of a bozo in a lot of the other areas, and I will not give him all that much credit. Maryland has their starters in against the backups. If you don't want them to score, maybe don't suck at football. That's probably the goal.
Hey, not James Franklin, jeez. Hey, Mike Loxley. Might be time for you to hang him up, my man. I mean, another Maryland coach comes in, this guy from Bama. If you can't figure out how to make the Terps with the talent pool around you, at least a solid program, that is on you. That is on the coaches. That is on the AD, and another wasted year for Maryland. No excuses why that team shouldn't be serviceable. Another shitty year. And to bring it back full circle to James Franklin, I'm glad that he finally got a win because everybody hates this dude's guts. And they typically run up the score and they cover every week and people get pissed about it. In this case, he had every right and he had receipts and he had reasons in his back pocket. He was ready for this shit. And you know what? He's going to coach his team how he wants to coach his team. Mike Loxley's going to coach his team how he wants to coach his team, and it's probably not going to be as good. And that's why Maryland's Maryland. That's why Penn State's Penn State. And Jelly's pricked up. James Franklin, great coach. Big time win this weekend. Big time win. Love it. All right. Let's move on to some plays for today, huh, chat? Can we move on to some winners for today? What do you guys think? You want to talk about some plays for today? We've obviously got some Monday Night Football action going on. Browns and Broncos. We'll talk about that in a little bit. Could also probably get to the Sharp Report. Maybe dive into some of those winners for today. What do you guys think, chat? You guys want to get involved? Enough talking about the weekend. Let's get into some winners for tonight. I'm down. I'm in. Let's get started with Monday Night Football. Jovan W's. Talked about this last week a little bit in this game. I do still like the under in this game, but I'm making a couple tweaks, a couple pivots. After getting crushed on the NFL slate yesterday, I mean, just absolutely destroyed. I'm going to make some changes here, and that under is starting to give me a little bit of concern. So I made a couple pivots here, and I got 2 plays in this Monday Night Football game tonight. I'm riding with Jameis, who's a machine as a dog of 4-point dogs or more in his career. He just comes through more often than not. I learned my lesson the other week fading him. You don't fade Jameis. And I think the Browns defense, that's mainly what I'm betting on here, Jovan, to be honest with you. After a win last week, they might have not heard no bell, and Myles Garrett's been showing out. I think the Browns defense shows up here, and they have a rookie Bo Nix not looking as good as he's looked in recent weeks when he's been him. I know all the talks about him and Jane Daniels. I mean, look, he could have both those QBs could have bad games the rest of the season, and it's kind of still a win overall for not only just those rookies, but those teams with the QBs they've had. Clearly, they have their guys, but that doesn't mean Bo Nix at home is going to dominate against the Browns defense that I think is very underrated in this spot and undervalued in this spot. Sure, their record's been bad. Sure, their defense has not been as good this season, but after a win last week, I'm willing to back them again, and I'm leaning into it. I think the Browns cover this game. It's probably going to be a Jameis Winston backdoor, and I still lean the under, but instead of potentially getting hooked here by some Jameis magic, I'm going to go with that team total under for the Broncos. Fade Bo Nix, lean into that angle against a solid Browns defense that I think is still undervalued after a big win. And the total's dropping in this game, but the overall total is kind of sketching me out, so I ended up pivoting, went with the team total under for the Broncos, and I'm taking the Browns and Jameis plus 6.5 here on the road, leaning on their defense.
I won't tell you no. I don't know if I'm going to get involved with a side in this game, truthfully, just because kind of lean your way with the Browns. I just have a real hard time pushing the button after, they have a little extended rest coming into this game. And the last game they played was obviously the crazy Thursday night snow game where they got a massive win against one of the better teams in the league in front of everybody. So doing that again, I think might be a little tough, even though you're getting 6.5 points against a rookie quarterback. Granted, one has been really good, but I don't know. At the very least, I feel like Jameis is going to Jameis in this game. Okay. So, I think you're betting on Bo Nix to be a rookie quarterback, which is not a bad bet against that defense. So I will not give you any flack.
I'm expecting a very conservative approach to the offense for Denver. We have not seen that at times in recent weeks. We've seen Cortland Sutton get involved down the field. We've seen Bo Nix shine. Obviously, that's why the Rookie of the Year odds have moved so much in recent weeks. But I think, you go into this game, you're sitting at 7-5. I feel like you take a breath. You say, listen, all right, we have a rookie QB out there who's been playing out of his mind. But we're playing against a really good Browns defense. And although we're at home, although we have the momentum, we got to simplify the offense here. I don't think you're going to see as many shots down the field. I think you're going to see Denver rely a little bit more on their rushing attack, which they typically don't. I know their running back field is absolute chaos, but there's probably one of those running backs that we could take and back potentially on PrizePicks, Jovan. I guarantee you there is, because I do think it's going to be more of a conservative approach for this Denver team. It's good for the under. Keep that clock running. They're not going to be the same aggressive team against this Browns secondary and this Browns defense. I'd be shocked if they were. And if they are, you might see a Bo Nix pick for the first time in a couple weeks. I was looking at that at plus money on the books. Wouldn't mind a Bo Nix mistake, but I'm not expecting a ton of passes anyways. I think they try to run the ball a little bit more today.
I definitely agree with that. 100% agree with that. And sneakily, teams are starting to do the same thing they did to CJ Stroud to Bo Nix too. He is not very good against zone coverage, and the Browns run a lot of man coverage. It's a little less now. They're kind of banged up, but I would assume they're going to bring that more into the fold today, which would be interesting to see just how he reacts to it.
All right. Very curious to see how he plays tonight. We'll talk a little bit more about Bo here in a moment. Why don't I wrap up my plays here, Jovan, and then we'll go to yours. I got a little basketball money line parlay here, guys. Stick with me. It's around minus 140, minus 150, depends on what book you're looking at, and I haven't checked the odds in about 30 minutes, so I will check them again. But let's start with the CBB play here. Not the greatest college basketball slate of all time, obviously, but there's still winners to be found and winners to be had and bets to hit. I'll go with Loyola on the ML against Coppin State. You've heard me talk about Coppin State, Jovan, as well this season. They're bad. They are that bad. They are 0-8, still looking for the first win this season, and it's not going to be tonight at home against Loyola Maryland. The Greyhounds are going to get a win. They're coming off a big-time win in their last contest as well. Again, these are just two teams in different leagues, and it's not even really props to Loyola Maryland, the Greyhounds. It's really just Coppin State and how bad this program is. They're not at the same level as any of these other schools. They have no NIL money. They're in a really tough spot here, and the spread's up from minus 6.5 to minus 8 in this game. Loyola Maryland, not a great start to the season so far, but I do think They get this win on the roads. Love that they're catching some steam. The splits look sharp as well. They're a little bit public, but some big bets being dropped on the Greyhounds. I'll back Loyola on the road, right down the street. These teams play every year too, so they know each other very well. Loyola's not going to be caught off guard in this game, and they're certainly not going to give Coppin State their first win of the season. This one means more for the Greyhounds, little Baltimore rivalry. They win this game on the roads, and I'm going to pair it with the Timberwolves in the NBA against the Lakers tonight. And I believe last time I checked, that spread was at 8. I think it still is. Sure, I'm going to take the T-Wolves on the ML here. The Lakers are coming off a back-to-back. Maybe LeBron doesn't play. Maybe AD doesn't play. TBD on that. They're already kind of short right now. They have a lot of injuries to their role players. I think coming off of a game last night, the Lakers got a big-time win. LeBron showed up late in that game. Probably used a lot of energy to come back and get a big-time win for the Lakers. I'll fade them the second night of a back-to-back, where the T-Wolves, to be honest, no matter what the scenario is, Jovan, they probably shouldn't be laying 8 points to anybody right now with how mid they've looked this season. I think that's pretty telling. And although they might not cover and win this game by double digits, feeling very confident this T-Wolves team gets a win against the Lakers tonight. With a tired Lakers team, potentially some guys resting as well. I'll pair both of these favorites on the ML, and I'll go about my day, and I'll meet you guys at the cash counter.
Sure. I don't have a problem with that. Definitely a little weird because I would assume you're probably getting a LeBron sittage, I would think, especially being that, they play the Heat on Wednesday. So if he's coming off a back-to-back and there's any game for him to sit, especially with the line moving as significantly to the T-Wolves as it did, it's probably this one, but I still don't really hate buying that either.
Okay. We'll see. I have not seen any injury stuff yet or rest stuff yet for LeBron or AD, but like you said, that spread's moving up, and it's probably not for no reason. But if it is, got to like this even more. If not, I still think the T-Wolves get a big-time win. This game just means more, and the Lakers are gassed coming in off the back-to-back on the road. All right?
Sure.
Little two-piece bozo pack in basketball. It ain't much, but it's honest work today, chat. Slate's not great, but we're making do. Jovan, you got some straight bets for the peeps?
I do.
Let's talk about them.
Yeah, start about the one that's moving awfully quickly because I think there's some news on the Celtics side because I think we already knew Kristaps Porzingis was not going to play, but now Drew Holiday's not playing, so the line's moving down towards the Heat. I don't really care. That's news that I'll buy too. The Heat, this is the perfect game for them to come out and win after I really don't take them at home at all, especially in these big games against bigger teams. For whatever reason, they can't figure out a way to play in Miami. They play on the road. That's when they come out and either win these games or lose these games in heartbreaking fashion, but it's always a dogfight majority of the time, just like when they lost as favorites on the road against the Raptors in their last game, which was, I don't want to say a little surprising because the way they've been playing, awfully strange. Terry Rozier has been terrible. Obviously, Hero's been chucking. Jimmy has not been aggressive. Bam actually had one of his best games in a while, but it was an odd concoction of a game, I would say. And I feel like coming into this game, not only do you have the anti-look-ahead spot in the Lakers on Wednesday, which is probably a game where everybody's going to be in love with the Heat as short dogs or whatever they're going to be, and they're going to fall flat on their face. But this is the perfect spot. The Celtics, it's always the bounce-back spot narrative, even with them coming in with some injuries. They just lost a game to the Cavs. A really weird game too, I would say. So you would assume they're going to be better, but the Heat, they take away your first options, especially if your first option is really good at getting to the rim, which Jason Tatum very much is, and he's been aggressive in every form and facet of the game. But now you got the Heat coming in on the road where they play like they have nothing to lose. This is the perfect spot for them to get it all together. And again, probably play it close and lose in heartbreaking fashion because that's the way all these big games on the road go for the Heat. But I'm taking it, especially with the injury news, because I feel like Drew Holiday is not feel like, but he's such a good matchup for a lot of the Heat guards, which is why they've had so much trouble in playing him. So the fact that he's out, that's rare news that I would be perfectly fine able to buy. So I haven't looked to see what the updated line is. I already have this locked in, but would endorse whatever it's going to be at. And Utah, another one that's, I don't know, somewhat of an odd game, I would say. They're playing Dallas tonight. Dallas is on the road playing the back-to-back. I don't know who blessed the Stars with their schedule makers because they've played like fewer back-to-backs than anybody else in the league, which is really, really strange. But it's kind of another spot thing. The Stars, they just came off of two of the better games against some of the better teams in all of hockey, including a dominant performance defensively against the Jets last night. They won 3-1. Utah is also coming off of a pretty solid game, which again, like I'm not just going to throw it out the window because they beat Vegas 6-0, and that's a pretty big accomplishment. But that was the battle of the backup goalies, so it's kind of just another really odd game that I don't really know what to do with. But Stars are coming in, weird spot on the road where they've typically been really good. Utah, I think, is a bad matchup for them hockey-wise, X's and O's wise. I feel like they're going to push the tempo early and often. And whenever they do start getting run out in transition and, play on the break a little bit, they've been really bad matchups. It definitely helps that you're going to get Casey DeSmith in that too, which if you've been fading Casey DeSmith for the last month or so, you're fucking rich because he's been absolutely terrible. And again, with the Stars, in hockey, it's a little easier to buy bad news in the NBA, but when hockey, you have a really bad goalie in there that you think has a terrible matchup on a back-to-back, I'm going to continue fading that because he's been fucking terrible. He just gave up like 6 to the Blackhawks. He's been on a torrential, like horrendous streak. And I think that continues tonight. I think Utah gets a win. So I'm very in on that. I know you mentioned that a little earlier. And
love it.
Got to the counter.
Utah Hockey Club. Sign me up. Plus chicken.
Plus chick. The goats.
I want to hear about this Tulane play.
Yeah, Tulane's been really bad, Krabs. Like really, really bad. Like they've lost 3 in a row, and one of those, funny enough, they're playing a Southland team tonight. This would be their second loss to the Southland in the season because they lost again to New Orleans, their other in-state rival in the Southland, which, good God, they were terrible. That was like Tulane loves to play on the break. I mean, they like to play a fast team. They're not as good as they were like a couple years ago doing it, but you love to pick up the tempo. That definitely works, or at least will like generate offense against a team like New Orleans, which is why they at least like almost scored 90 points in that game, but they ended up losing because their defense is so bad. Sela's a little different, and that's who they play tonight. They like to play a little slower, which I think is not good for them because the one thing that Tulane kind of does have, which is very uncharacteristic for them this season, is a big physical big man, and Caleb Banks, who's been fantastic for them. So Sela, just like every other Southland team for the most part, funny enough, like New Orleans is one of the bigger teams in the Southland. So that's a team that actually posed somewhat of a weird matchup for them. Sela's not that. It's like they play slow because they're undersized. Tulane wants to play fast. And when they play fast, it's kind of bit them in the ass because they've played a lot of teams that handle that well the last couple times. The last 3 games they've lost in a row. I think this is a bad matchup for Sela. And even though Tulane's been absolutely horrible, especially the last couple of weeks, but really all season, I think this is where they get right. I feel like it's probably pretty telling that this line, it seems short because it's Tulane against Southeastern Louisiana at first glance, but you look at it again, it's starting to move Tulane's way, which is pretty interesting given how bad they've been. So yeah, I'm going to take the green wave.
You got Southeast Louisiana coming off a big time outright win against North Dakota when they were dogs. They've covered 3 of their last 4 games. You could say they're probably overperforming at least a hair. Then you got Tulane coming off of 3 losses, all as favorites. They lost to New Orleans when they were minus 18. That's probably the Southland loss you were talking about. They were minus 18. They lost that game outright. They lost to Wyoming as favorites, and they lose to Belmont as favorites. So, sure, that line looks short, just looking at the 2 schools, but odds makers still clearly believe in Tulane, and I think that's a great spot to back them today. You think they're losing 2 games to the Southland Conference this season? Probably not. Let's hope they win by 10+. I mean, that spread moving up is a great sign. So coming in off of 3 straight losses as favorites, why not back them again one more time?
Yeah, this is like it's odd too because they're both coming back from that weird like Cancun tournament, which I don't know, just like maybe it's a change of scenery thing. You can be happy for Tulane because they played horrendous in that entire tournament, and now they're finally getting back home, a chance to kind of wipe it off fresh slate and play a Sela team that I think they have some advantages over. So thinking they roll.
ACC fines and reprimands UNC, NC State, Virginia, and Virginia Tech for their actions in respective rivalry games this weekend. The fuck did we do?
VT?
Yeah.
What'd they do?
I don't know. I guess we're getting in trouble. Okay.
Beef?
I guess. Maybe there was some I know there was some beef before the game. That's probably what it was. There was some fighting before the game. They were showing that. That has to be what it was. Come on, let the boys play. Give me a break. Nobody got hurt. They're probably taking away some more of that VT's NIL money. Sure. Just take it. We don't need it. All right. Jovan, I think that Tulane play is actually very, very sharp. I think you're all into something there. Love that.
So-
Love the Utah Hockey Club. And it looks like Miami's down to like +8.
Yeah.
All right. W's. We got Hey, I'm Matt coming in, resubbing. Good afternoon, goats. Thank you for such great content and a great community. Couldn't be happier to discover you guys. Matt, you're a beast. We appreciate you. We do it all for you and Lembo. W Matt. Let's fucking go. Godsynth coming in, resubbing. Oh, here it goes. I got to read this one out. Shout out Krabs, Eagles Super Bowl ticket, and shout out Bucky Irving. Yep, that shit might cash, Godsynth, to be honest with you, brother. So you're not wrong. I got no chirp back. We got AL100s coming in, resubbing as well. Let's go, y'all. BTL for life. Maybe I got to start tailing Trent right now. He's hot. You're not wrong, AL100s.
Trent
We're
is
not
kind of
wrong
hot right now. People sleep.
You're not wrong. Written by Zach, resubbing. Kish, resubbing. We appreciate you, gents. Peg is in the chat. What's up, Beast? Krabs, are the Commanders going back to the Skins? No, they're not. I don't know if that's what they're talking about over there in Brazil, but there's about a 0% chance they go back to the old name. So, yeah, it's too late. They're probably going to keep the Commanders, to be honest with you, if I had to guess. All right, let's get on to some PrizePicks squares, huh, Jovan? You ready? I got a couple that I like in this Monday Night Football game. Bo Nix, more than 20.5 rushing yards. You know, I was thinking about maybe taking that rush attempts. It was at 5. I don't know if they're going to win this game. They probably will, though. But I'm not thinking this is going to be a scenario where they're kneeing the ball out, especially involving Jameis. I feel like Jameis will have the ball in his hands at the end of the game. So instead, I went with this weird, nasty, very high Bo Nix rushing yards square that's up on PrizePicks. It's extremely red. He's not been running a ton recently, but against this D-line, tonight, he might be running for his fucking life at times. And all we're going to need is him to break one of these big runs. It's a great sign that his rush attempts is that high. And I know there are 6.5-point favorites. So instead of going with that angle and banking on some knees, I'm going to go with this rushing yards that's looking very high to me. I think against that D-line, he might be running a little bit. And again, simplify the offense for Bo Nix against this defense. Not as many shots down the field. Run the damn ball. And I think that involves Bo Nix as well. Nick Chubb, receiving yards. I'm going with another nasty running back here on his receiving yards, Jovan. I'm sure you could back me on this one too. He has not come through for us recently, but he's got an extremely redded out receiving yard square up tonight as well. And I'm going to back Nick Chubb to catch hopefully one, maybe 2 dink and dunks and get at least 5 yards. We're not asking for the fucking world here, but I'm going to go back to the well. Nick Chubb has cost me coins on the square in recent weeks, but I've already seen it. Nick Chubb breaking, hopefully one screen pass. I saw one the last 2 weeks or 2 weeks ago when he got a pass and got, I think, 1 yard and he was at 1.5 receiving yards. Can't make it up. Let's hope Nick Chubb comes through today for bettors and respects our coins and goes more than that 4.5 receiving yard square. One of the reddest charts up on PrizePicks for tonight. I'll back Nick Chubb on a screen to hopefully break one.
Yeah, I'm in on those squares, especially when they're up for a couple times after they don't do shit.
That's literally my toothpaste. What the? Let's fucking go, Lauren.
Oh, Jimmy's out? Yes.
Wow, bad news.
Huge. Well, then it offsets
bad news.
So then we're like right back where we started. Even that might be more important to the Heat than Drew and Porzingis being out for the Celtics. So that's perfect. Perfect.
Damn, that receiving yard square was at 3.5 this morning too. That's a good sign. Getting a little bump.
That might be cake, Krabs.
Oh.
Every time they get bumped, they're cake.
Well, shit.
Jeez.
Lauren, that's a geek. That's either a great sign or a horrendous sign. We'll see how it plays out, but I'm sticking with it. I'm sticking with it. What are the odds? That's so weird. Bo's at 23.5 on the blue book now. Let's fucking go. Good. He's going to finish exactly 4. I swear to God. That would suck. All right. Love these 2 squares, though, in the Monday Night Football game. I tried to get you guys something in CBB or anything else, but I really couldn't. So locked into this Monday Night Football game, taking Bo Nix and Nick Chubb to do their jobs in 2 sketchy-looking squares. Okay?
Let's go.
Jovan, you got some squares for the peeps?
I do.
Good.
I do have a square in the game, in the Monday night game tonight. Wanted to go with Elijah Moore because Jerry Jeudy is awfully popular today for the revenge game narrative, and people are quite overlooking that Pat Surtain, who doesn't allow a single wide receiver to do shit, is in all likelihood going to be shadowing him. Maybe not for the entire game, but he's going to be on him quite a bit. So like if I'm Jameis, that's one of the reasons I think Jameis is going to Jameis, because he's going to force the ball over there, and that's probably going to be taken back for 6, just like Jameis Winston does. But he's going to have to look somewhere on the other side of the field, and more so in the slot, which I think Elijah Moore is going to be that guy. It's a tough matchup for Judy, obviously. It's also a slightly tough matchup for Njoku. I know the Broncos have been kind of back and forth with how they've been guarding tight ends, how well and how poorly they've been doing on a week-to-week basis. It kind of depends on the matchup. Njoku, I'm kind of in between on today, but I think targets are going to be funneled to Elijah Moore. I feel like he's the fallback guy on the other side of the field that I think has a significantly better matchup, especially being that he's going to play a good bit in the slot on the other side as PS2. So I like him today. I think he's going to be the guy. It definitely helps that Cedric Tillman is also out, because he's kind of going to be the only guy on the other side of that field that's really getting any looks outside of when Njoku is set out wide and not on the line. So I think that works with Elijah Moore, so I'm taking him. Anthony Davis, I actually want to pivot from this square, not just take the points, because I forgot about what happened yesterday or last game. I want to take his PR, because the Warriors, and a lot of people are going to be on his points today. I'm kind of riding with it, eating into it. It's because he dominates Rudy Gobert, and I'm so down to shit on Rudy Gobert at any point. I don't know how he keeps winning depoy, because he is a fucking traffic cone, and AD is going to absolutely expose that, especially when there's a possibility that the Lakers are playing without LeBron. Does that mean you're probably at risk a little more for a blowout? Sure, you could be, but if we know anything about the NBA, sometimes that doesn't exactly work out. But if LeBron's out, increased usage, surely he's going to dominate Gobert. But I remembered, as I was about to put in the square and put in the 2-piece, that there was a lot of bitching on the feed about a stat correction for Anthony Davis's rebounds. I believe it might have been, it was yesterday's game when like they took away like a rebound. He ended up hooking under his line. So like everybody was pissed. Completely forgot about that, and I want to put that in the square now. So points and rebounds is what I just put in instead of just the points. But obviously the matchup for points is there. That's why everybody's going to be on it today. You'll see the sell job a million times. He dominates Gobert, yada, yada, yada. He's going to get a lot of touches today. If I'm JJ Redick, I'm absolutely feeding him in the post. He's versatile. And obviously he's going to step out because Gobert can't step out himself. So like he's going to be super aggressive with LeBron on the floor or not. If LeBron's not on the floor, great. But if he is, he's going to be facilitating towards him a lot of this game. I think that's the game plan. But on the rebounding side of things, I need to see him just destroy Rudy Gobert on the boards as well. And you know damn well, after the whole feed was filled with Anthony Davis bitching about a stat correction on a rebound, that he's going to spawn with 15.
Okay. So you want to pivot and take that 38.5 points and rebound square?
Yeah.
This one? Okay.
Has to be done.
Okay. All right. I'm seeing chat bitching about some bumps. You guys know how it goes. Come on. There's always bumps. Krabs, look at Cameron Johnson, 3s attempted. Is that one of the ones, Jovan, you were looking at?
Yes, it was. The only reason that wasn't up here is because there's a couple of them weird ones in that game. I think they took off his regular 3 square, but I guess you could look at that one because that one's a gob. But like they had 3.5 up there, and it was fully red. So like maybe that's cake that it's off, but he has a 3s attempted square. That is, I think, what somebody was talking about.
3s attempted.
Yeah.
Sure. Here it is. 9. Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Add that to my card. Will you? Go ahead and add it to my card. My guy, is that Sebernat? Yeah, it is in chat. I should have known. I didn't have to look again. This dude finds the nastiest squares on PrizePicks. When I host a surge, he'll come on. He'll give the nastiest sell job of all time, like it's handcrafted, signed, sealed, and delivered for Krabs. Sebernat, I respect it. I don't know if you bet this way before you found BTL or whatever, but I'd love to get the breakdown. Did I brainwash you? Or is this how you've always been? You sharp? Do you get it? You know ball? Or is this from BTL? Because this is a crabby, nasty square through and through. Right here, looking at Cam Johnson, 3 points attempted, 9. The guy hasn't attempted 9 threes maybe all season, at least in his last 5, looking at the chart. Insane.
Yeah.
He said, got it from you, Krabs. Well, that makes my day because at least somebody's out there listening and learning. Good. Love it. All right, and we'll spend some more time looking at some of these NBA squares as well, Jovan. Maybe we can even craft up something. For now, we'll go ahead and wrap up this segment here. You got Elijah Moore. People are bitching about that getting bumped up too. Let's take a peep.
Moore got bumped.
He's at 47.5. He did get bumped up. Sure.
Dude.
Huh. All right. And then people were saying Bo Nix might have gotten bumped up as well.
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah, he got bumped up a yard. We can live with that, though. I swear to God, if he ends with 21, we can live with that, though. Okay? Dubs. Chat. Hope these PrizePicks squares at least, get the gears rolling in the brains. Help you guys think about Monday Night Football or even some NBA looks. Anthony Davis typically taking Rudy Gobert's lunch money. Let's see if he does it again tonight. And by the way, chat, Jovan is pivoting to not the points for AD, but the points and rebounds.
Yeah.
PR. Okay, PR. W's. All right, guys. Knicks, less than half an interception is free. I kind of think he throws a pick tonight. I'm not going to lie. But again, he might not even throw the ball that much tonight. Maybe Sean Payton doesn't even put him in that spot. So I probably won't be playing that one. And after me taking Jaden Daniels, less than half a pick this weekend, I think I'm good on the pick angles for now. Okay. That was bullshit. All right. No more interception squares, I beg you. Richie's saying, yeah, we're on the same page. We'll take a break from those, although they have pretty much hit the majority of the season. Shit.
Yeah. I mean, we tailed the one from you yesterday. That was not Jaden Daniels. Gino.
Yes. People were actually gassing that up in the beginning of BTL from the intro. Yeah. Good. All right. We got Mahoney in chat. What's up, Mahoney? Hope you're doing well, Beast. We got Budman coming in, resubbing. Let's go, Budman. 32 months, seasoned vet. Love to see that. W fellas from Budman. Appreciate you marking that, putting your name on there, Budman. Aries 18 coming in. Huh?
We got the new CBB top 25 just dropped.
No way. We could take a peep at that. W Aries coming in with the resub as well. As always, my goats. I've had Krabs 2 plays locked in, a 2-piece and 7:30 this morning. That makes 3 of us then, LC. You, me, and Aries already locked in. Good. Krabs going to text you some advice on the hedge. Please do, Danny. And if I don't get back to you, I will, though, after this. Bug me. Text me a couple times. But, yeah, let's talk about it. Let's talk through it. Harris coming in resubbing. Doing this here since Trent doesn't read subs, almost 3 years. Harris, you're a fucking beast. Give Trent a break, okay? You're a goat. We got Doodle Knight coming in, giving out a subby to the peeps. Let's go, Doodle Knight. Atta boy. Look at you guys all subbing up. Another subby from Doodle Knight, blessing up the chat. Love to see it. Jake Engelbar coming in, resubbing as well for 22 months. You guys are getting active. You're up and moving in the chat. Love to see it. All right. Jovan, do we want to take a peep at some of the book plays for today?
Sure.
Yeah. What would you play in this Browns-Broncos game if you had to play something?
I think it still might be your under, Krabs.
You think it's the under and I'm pivoting away from it after a bad Sunday and it's probably the wrong move?
Yeah, I kind of think it is. I mean, my biggest worry with, the under in this game is Jameis throwing 6 to the defense. I think it's going to be – I think this is where I agree with you. Like, the Broncos are going to establish the run in this game, which they haven't really been able to do incredibly well. And I think this is the spot for them to do it. And it's milk clock, and I don't think the Browns' offense is going to be incredibly good. I think if you need the Browns to cover this game, you're kind of praying that the defense has a legacy performance, which I could see. I just think it's the under, simple as it may be. I liked your OG read.
Okay. All right. Javon's Meat coming in with a question. You think Juba's getting a target before the season ends? That's actually a good question.
And we probably
deserve that one.
Great question. I don't know. I mean, I didn't know Jonathan Brooks was the fucking receiving back all of a sudden. Because he had like 30 yards.
Look, we can keep the Chuba hate out of the chat. I know we took him this weekend for the receiving yard square. I know that was not our best read, but Chuba's come through for us this season overall. He's been a bright spot for the Panthers. We'll keep the Chuba hate out of this. Okay? And yes, that is a ridiculous name. Appreciate the question, though. Okay? We probably deserve that one. I still like the under. I think I'm still going to isolate the Broncos team total under. I'm worried about Jameis being a freak. But, yeah, sure. Maybe he could throw a pick 6 here. Probably do for 1, and then that fucks me over on that team total. But I just want to isolate and fade the Broncos offense here tonight. Lean into that angle and back the Browns as well. I've come around to the Browns. And I've learned that, fading Jameis Winston as a big dog just simply doesn't pay. It never has, and it might never will. Check that grammar for me, chat. Never has, and it might never will. Somebody write that one down. Looking at this Lions boost, Bo Nix and Jameis, maybe that under is a good look. Both to combine for 215 yards. Giving you a boost on that. That's probably not hitting. Shit. Winston has no chance against the Broncos D. I would never count out Jameis Winston. I think that's a fair comment. Jameis minus 168 on the blue book. Looks like a great lay piece to throw a pick. Yeah, I think they have him up for 1.5 picks as a demon on PrizePicks as well. That's wild. Absolutely wild. All right. Jovan, I would not mind going through the college basketball slate, as moose as it is. Maybe we could take a peep at some of these games. You could stop me if there's ones you want to talk about, like this one, Yale and Rhode Island, which we had some questions about in the chat.
Dude, a lot of Yale today on the feed.
I know. I'm not doing it. I appreciate you saying that because you're right. A lot of people trying to back Yale today, and I get it, right? Great coach, pretty good program. They've had good success in recent years, right? You remember their 20 run last year. But is this the time to back Yale? I don't think it is. And I kind of like what I'm seeing out of Rhode Island right now. Let's not forget about Rhode Island. It's been a couple years, but this is typically a pretty good mid-major college basketball program. And what have we learned about fading streaks in any sport? It's not smart. Typically, 9 times out of 10, fading a streak, it just simply doesn't work, especially in baseball. I feel like I made that very clear by now. But even in basketball, I'm not sprinting to the counter to lock in a fade of Rhode Island, who's undefeated. Now, if I had to bet this game, what am I taking? Okay, you got me. I'm taking Yale. All right, hand up. But I'm certainly not betting it, and I definitely think this could be the fake sharp POD today, Jovan. I'm with you. I've seen a lot of Yales on the feeds, and if you've looked at what Yale's done this season, look, they can still score, but they can't stop a parked car on defense. You know who does play a little bit of defense, at least minimal? Rhode Island. And Yale might have the size advantage here, but playing on the road, and Rhode Island having the confidence of being like, they might as well be the number 1 ranked team in the country, undefeated, 7-0. They're feeling good. I don't think today's the spot to fade them. And Rhode Island has not been covering. Yale has. So with all those factors involved, I'm staying off this game. I'm good on the Bulldogs, a program that people like. They seem to make some Cinderella runs in recent years. I'm good. I think Rhode Island might roll here again.
Yeah, there's definitely, I would say I've definitely seen the most of Yale today on the CBB slate. So
yep,
there's one of the two, I think, possible fake sharp dogs today. Maybe it's both, but between Yale and Pacific, I think Pacific is like super late night, but
I've seen some Bryant looks as well against Drexel. I'm not sprinting in the books to lock him in, but I probably would lean Bryant. You mentioned that Pacific game. I think most places it's down to 14 as well. So
big move.
I like Pacific. I like their coach. I like their team this season, but am I in a rush to fade Colorado after that embarrassment in their last game? Not really. So I'll sit that one out too. Kind of a tough college basketball slate today. And then you close it out with Washington State and Nevada. Could be a square over in this game. I haven't seen much defense played from either of these two teams yet so far this season. Maybe it's an over in this one late night. Nevada probably gets the win. I'm not betting the spread, though.
That total kind of looks low.
You think it's low?
Well, because remember that Washington State Fresno game, that total was at like 164 or some shit in like Nevada.
Yep.
I don't know what the total was in that Oklahoma State game, but I know it was like 90 to 80. That's sort over. Whatever that number was. 146.5 of both those teams seems a little odd at first glance. And it honestly makes me think that, Nevada's sitting there at minus 11.5, which I also think is fat. And I know they're going to match up a lot better on the inside than a couple of the teams Washington State has played. That kind of makes me think it's Nevada.
Wow. Okay. Maybe Nevada's defense shows up tonight and they kind of stunt Washington State here for the first time this season. Okay.
Kind of thinking so.
Okay. All right. Everybody in chat's asking about UL Monroe. I think that's Freddie's play of the day today. Freddie Mills or Goats. That's probably why people are asking. Yeah. I won't be betting it. I like it. When in doubt, I always lean the dog. And I'm sure Freddie has a way better read than I do. And I like the Bolden kid for UL Monroe, the homegrown kid. He's been there for the last 2 or 3 years, I believe. Always good to see a guy stick around, end up, reaping the benefits. He's by far their best player. Sure, I would lean UL Monroe, and I definitely trust Freddie's reads 100%. I didn't see anything that really stuck out in this game, but wishing you all the best of luck if you're talent. Okay.
Yeah.
No
No way there's a line for this game. There's like an actual line.
Bro, what?
It's like there's probably negative shot that they actually lose to Oakwood, but I might want to sprinkle and pay and find out just for shits.
I don't see a line.
I was going to say.
You guys see a line up? Plus 620 he sees.
Yeah. I feel like you're not just pulling 620 out of pure cheeks.
Maybe his offshore book has it. Okay.
Maybe. I might have to find out.
I'm sure he'll come in and let us know in the chat here. Take a look at the AP poll. Do you guys want to look at the AP poll or do you want more winners? I guess we can take a brief glance at it real quick. Do you know if we're doing a surge today?
I don't even think he's here, is he?
Okay. I can zoom in here a little bit. Remember, guys, this website has so many fucking free ads. It's so annoying. I believe this is updated. Yep, December 2nd. And Willie Adamas just got paid. I got the note for.
Paid?
Nope. Adamas set to get paid. Apologies on the fake bang. Jesus Christ.
Crap.
Jesus Christ. That's on me.
Why
Why am I getting notice about a player potentially about to get paid? I'm reading the AP poll. I'm reading the notif. I'm looking at the chat. Too many things. Too many things. Let's take a peep at this AP poll. Apologies for the fake bang. Okay. And yeah, if you guys don't follow Freddie on X, it's probably worth a follow. And not many people out there know more ball than Freddie. Okay. And I think I also saw the other day that he still plays pickup. I think I saw that he was talking about that. That made me want to go put on the basketball shoes again and go out there and play some pickup. Shit.
Dude, I'm so lost not having a gym right near me. So I'm so used to just walking over to the gym at TCU. Still like a year and a half removed, and I can't handle it. And all the gyms here, shit, dude.
Would you go and play in the actual arena?
No. They have like a regular, like where you play intramurals and shit.
Sure.
I was like 2 credits a credit each year, like off of my full requirements. Like I had 6 classes, and one of them was like just checking in and going to the rec, which I was like already gonna do.
That's awesome.
I did that for junior and senior year.
Hell yeah. Get those credits. All right. Let's take a peep at this AP poll. It did get updated, chat. Kansas 1, Auburn 2. I'd have these flipped. That might be just personal preference, though. And we've seen this movie before, so out of respect, Kansas probably should be ranked 1 still. It's Kansas, okay? But I am all on the Auburn train this season, as I said on the podcast, as we've seen already this year, not a hot take. They are really good. Really good. And Bruce Pearl is due. Not a lot of people who are better in the sport that deserve, finally getting one than Bruce Pearl. We got Estamico coming in, resubbing, sharing winners for 3 years now. W Krabs and Jovan. W Estamico for the 36-month sub bang. Let's fucking go, dudes. Sure we can. And Jake Engelbart coming in, resubbing as well. What's up, Shu? How we doing, Beast? No, Michigan is absurd. SBR already bitching. Yeah, honestly, you kind of have a right to bitch there if they're not on here.
Kind of on the Michigan train now, dude.
I mean, look, they should be getting more respect. They got the blue blood name. They've got the new coach coming in. Their record's good. They've looked sharp. I think I talked about it on the CBB pod or maybe even just BTL early on the season, but talking about how Michigan needs to figure it the fuck out. They might have brought in the right guy. I know it's early, but they've looked pretty fucking good so far this season. They handed my Hokies a loss. That's for sure. I don't know if you saw, but the Hokies are the worst ranked team.
I was just about to bring that up. The net.
That's worst really ranked team in Power 5 in the net. Did I send that tweet in our group chat? I think I did. Did I send that in the BTL group chat?
I think so. Right?
I don't know why I can't find it. Here it is. Yep. 5 worst net rankings among Power 5 conference teams. Georgia Tech, Syracuse, Miami, Seton Hall, and then all the way at the bottom, ranked 233. The Hokies. Oh. All right. Let's stay locked in to stuff that matters, not VT basketball. Tennessee, another, really good team this season again. Am I bought in fully? I'd rather take these other 2 squads up here, especially Auburn, but you got to respect it. Kentucky undefeated as well under Mark Pope. They are getting the respect they deserve. They've looked great so far this season. Marquette undefeated again. I'm going to go ahead and give you guys a reminder as well. Do not fade Marquette. It just doesn't work. And I need that reminder too. I already faded them once this season and lost coins. That's a team that covers every game they play. Every game they play, they cover. And I know I'm over-exaggerating, but you know what I mean. That team should not be faded, and they never get line respect, and they are the sharp better's curse. Let's keep Marquette off to the side like we did at the end of last year. And with that being said, they're probably going to go on a losing streak. Then you got some of the one-loss teams, Jovan. Iowa State, Gonzaga, who I think is really good. I know they have a loss already, but I like that Gonzaga team. I like Mark Few's guys. And then Purdue, Duke, and Bama rounding out the top 10. Oh, if only somebody said Bama might not be the wagon that everybody expected right off the rip. Already has 2 losses.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Thoughts on the top 10? I know I just talked a lot. I want to give you a second.
Yeah, top 10's fine. I do think like the SEC, it's super early, but like they look like the Big 12 of the last couple of years to me, where like they are so deep. There's a lot of teams, like frankly, I mean, even if we're not talking top 10, like look, you're sitting just outside of them. Team that I love in Florida, and there's a couple teams throughout the SEC that I think are going to be big time problems. So yeah, that's the SEC might be chilling in that top 10 for quite some time. And I assume after maybe we get through December, there's probably another team or two that are going to sneak in there, which honestly, after like another 2 weeks, might be the Gators sitting right there.
Todd Golden's got his boys locked the fuck in.
They're so good.
Locked in.
So good, dude.
Locked in. And yeah, I see Rav in chat. Shout out your Pitt Panthers, man. Once again, that's a team that I know I just talked about. Don't fade Marquette. Don't fade Pitt. Just bet on Pitt. They respect coins. They come through.
Rav's teams. I think Arizona State should be ranked. UConn should not be ranked.
Rav, I'm happy for you, man. I'm happy for you, man. Seriously, your teams are looking good. At least somebody's getting some wins. We got a couple people getting some wins. LC's got her Texas wins. Good. I'm rooting for you guys. Rav said I was talking about a month ago. Yeah, Arizona State basketball as well. Sure, not just football.
Those two, like, kind of middle of the pack-ish. Not right now, because, like, they're almost leading it. But, like, the Big 12 teams, like, everybody knows Houston. Everybody knows Baylor. Everybody knows Kansas. Oklahoma and Arizona State are sneakily good. And now Oklahoma's finally getting ranked, and maybe people are starting to realize. But those two teams are going to cause some fucking issues. And you know what we get, I think, in a week or so, Krabs, which I think is going to be one of the better games of all non-conference. Sun Devils against the Florida Gators.
Wow. That's going to be cinema.
Cinema, dude.
Actual cinema. Wow. How about Ole Miss? God damn it.
Yeah, I'll give the SEC a lot of credit because they're super deep, but Ole Miss is not good. Not good.
How's good old Sean Padola been doing this season? He's carrying him. Yep.
Yeah, he's good. That's the one SEC team that I'm not buying into at all.
Yeah. I like their coach. I like Breakfields. I like Jalen Murray. I like Padola. They got Dre Davis too, don't they? Yeah, they do. I kind of like their team. And again, Ole Miss the last year and a half, 2 years has been a wagon against the spread. And yeah, just overall. Another team that with NIL is just going to be immediately good again out of nowhere. It's already here. All right. Let's keep moving to groove in here, chat. UConn still ranked. Crazy to see them still ranked, but they probably deserve it, I guess. That's what they've done recently, but come on. No. You're telling me one of these teams doesn't deserve it a little bit more than UConn right now? That kind of looks like a handout pity ranking right there, if I could say so myself.
Take the name off of that school. They're not even getting votes.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. Sister Jean would probably be getting more votes.
Yeah. But like legit.
Okay. Yeah, Michigan only 4th in receiving votes. I mean, they should be in here over UConn, along with probably all these other schools as well. Okay. Louisville, you guys know I got a soft spot in my heart for their coach, and they're rebuilding that program. Unfortunately, Pryor did tear his ACL the other day. That's a massive loss. Glue guy for Louisville. Probably hurts their natty chances. I think personally that is a massive loss, bigger than the stats and the points they're about to lose, because that's one of those guys on the court that you want on your side. That's a brutal loss for Louisville. Still rooting for them. Still rooting for Rain Smith and some of the College of Charleston boys on that team, but brutal loss for them. Oh,
We'll be
all right.
we'll be betting on them tomorrow, though.
Yeah, we could bet on them and buy the bad news. 100%.
You know they play,
100%.
right? It's,
Who they got tomorrow?
It's Big 12 SEC Challenge Day. They play good old number 23 right there.
Yeah? Oh, I hate fading Ole Miss.
In the Lou.
I hate fading Ole Miss, bro. But sometimes you don't have a goddamn choice.
Can be a solo.
After I just said don't fade them, we might have to fade them.
Can be a solo mish.
I'm looking for a spread in that game. I'm not seeing shit out yet. That's going to be a good one. All right.
Yeah.
Let's stay locked in here, chat. Where's Rutgers? No Rutgers love? Yeah. Maryland getting some votes too. All right, let's move. Any other questions from you guys in chat? Let me know. Thanks for the 5-0 fades for college football crabs. You're welcome, Ryan. Glad somebody cashed. Rutgers is overrated. Seamanat saying, yeah.
Yeah.
Any other questions you guys got in the chat about any plays for today? People are asking for NHL. I'm sure Jovan can give a quick peep to it real quick.
Like
not that many games, right? Yeah. You got the Utah Hockey Club you like on the ML, and then these two games, any reads?
I mean, the Devils, I want to take. I don't know if I'm going to end up doing it because the Rangers are kind of in shambles right now. They got their, I don't know. I don't even know. I don't want to give them credit for like a win against the Habs because the Habs are also in a similar spot, but they got their win. Maybe they're feeling a little better about themselves. Now you got the Devils coming in on the road. I mean, the Rangers are going to be fired up. It's probably a game where you see goals. The Rangers are probably going to come out super aggressive. I know somebody mentioned marks from saves, which is a fully read out chart today. He's going to be in net. I would assume that the Rangers are going to rip, but it's probably going to be because they're down in the game. So, like the Devils, when they're at that price, though, Mikey always says it best. Really, when they're just short to bettable favorites, they just make things so difficult. So I'm out, but leading their way. Blackhawks, Maple Leafs, even though the Leafs are such a fat favorite, it's kind of a weird game because like half the Blackhawks team are former Leafs. So like they're going to be relatively fired up today. I want to take something probably Bertuzzi related. He's probably the favorite of the bunch because he's going to come out. I think he has a point demon on PrizePicks, which I debated putting on Sharp Report, but yeah, it's an odd game. Obviously, you're never betting the minus 400 Leafs, and I don't think like they've been riding out Mrazek. The Blackhawks have in net for way too long. He's also one of the former Leafs, but like they have just been peppering him in net, letting him get drilled in there night after night. It's like he's probably going to give up goals, but I think the Blackhawks might come out fired up too. They're starting to play a little better, especially on the Bedard line. So maybe an over in that game.
All right. Well, we got some options there, chat. A couple good reads there. That's way more than I expected, to be honest with you. We'll get the squad ride fired up here in a moment, chat. I'm seeing a lot of people asking about that Yale game. Again, I'm staying off of Yale. I think it might be fake sharp today. I would not be locking in Yale, but I certainly wouldn't be recommending a Rhode Island who's undefeated. Okay? All right. Jovan, I think it might be about that time, my man. I'm going to get the squad ride poll here up and moving. Do we have a video graphic we can fire off here? I think we do. Sure. You got it. Jovan, run that shit. I want to see that damn train. Goods. All right, chat. Lock the fuck in. I'm trying to figure out how to get this poll up. I don't know if I can share it on the screen, but I can definitely get a poll up and moving here. What do we want to put in here for the squad rides? All right, I'm going to start a poll right now. New poll, PTL squad rides. What are we thinking for today, chat? What do we like the most? Drop your favorite sell job or favorite play you heard today. It's not going to be easy. We got a couple different angles here, and not that many great games.
Yeah, this is a horse meat slate.
It is.
Horse meat slate, dude.
It is. We're going to figure it out, though. Jovan, where's your head at, my man? What is your favorite straight bet for today? Is it the Utah Hockey Club?
Might be Utah. Not going to lie to you.
Put them in here on the ML. Even if it's not your favorite play, I think that's one of our best options.
Yeah, I know you're on the same page with that one too. So definitely down to put that in there. I do still like the Heat too. I would have been a little less all go on it. I still liked it and obviously took it and still felt the same way that Drew Holiday was out and you're buying a little bit of bad news. But now that Jimmy Butler's out, I mean, that's even better news if we're talking about buying bad news. And the line went down when the Celtics injuries got announced, but really didn't move all that much once Jimmy Butler got announced out, which is interesting.
That kind of makes me want to put them in here.
Yeah.
Not going to lie. Let me see what it's at right now. It's probably at 8.
I think it's sitting at 8.5.
I'm down to put them in here. Miami Heat plus 8.5. You get some WCLV as well. All right. I'm assuming I can't talk you into the Browns. What about that Broncos team total under that? 23.5.
I'd be down to put whatever your most confident read is in this game because, I mean, I don't have a read with an incredible amount of confidence, and I'm not betting the Broncos. So if you want to, I'd be down.
All right. I think we put in the spread plus 6.5 then.
Okay.
That's become my favorite play. I think we put that puppy in there. We see how it goes.
Sure.
Browns plus 6.5, chats. I want to see if it's even at 6.5 anymore because on Schmem, it's at 6. Definitely more 6s than 6.5s, but I see some 6.5s. I take that back. We still got majority 6.5s. So right now we got Utah Hockey Club ML plus chicken. We've got the Miami Heat plus 8.5. We've got the Browns plus 6.5. Were there any other plays worth our time? Jovan, I know you like that Tulane play, and I do too. Make sure we give that the time of day here.
Yeah.
Any Tulane thoughts?
I mean, yeah, I like Tulane.
Okay. Let's put them in here too. Let's make it a 4-piece. Let's get some more CBB involved here, chat. Doesn't feel right not having a CBB play in here. If you don't want it, you don't have to vote for it, but we can keep my Bozo ML parlay out of here, and we can put Tulane at -8 in here. Okay. All right, chat. I'm going to run this poll now for 3 minutes. If you're asking yourself, where the heck is this poll? Well, I'll tell you where it is. It's in the Twitch chat. Okay? Not on YouTube. You got to come over to the Twitch at Bookit Sports. Lock in your vote. You got about 2.5 minutes left. Utah Hockey Club ML, Miami Heat plus 8.5, the Browns plus 6.5, and Tulane -8 on the hardwoods. Chiote, one of the Krabs moneyline parlay. We're not putting a parlay in here, Chiote. You know it, and I know it. Okay? Can't do it. Can we look at the Monday Night Football splits? Yeah, I can tell you about them real quick. Looks like the Broncos are public. Shocker. They're getting over 70% of the bets and handle on the spreads. And they're getting over 75% of the bets and handle on the ML. The under splits.
Said figures.
Yeah.
Not too surprised.
Definitely expected. The total. Part of the reason why I pivoted from that under and went with the team total under. 44% of bets, 28% of handle on that under. On the green book. So interesting. A couple too many bets there for my liking. Not enough handle. Maybe it's fake sharp. Kind of why I pivoted to that team total under for the Broncos and hoping to keep out any Jameis Hail Marys or magic. Okay. All right, chat. What else you guys got? While we wait for this poll to complete here. You got about a minute left. Looks like Utah Hockey Club is running away with it right now. They're up early. We'll see if they can hold the lead.
Oh, wow. They came back.
Here comes Tulane, though. They're only down 1 in the vote.
Interesting 2-team race.
Huh. All right, chat. Please do not let the PrizePicks squares that we talked about today get swept either. Please do not. Do not let them get swept. We've got Bo Nix, rushing yards. We got AD, points and rebounds. I've also locked in, obviously, the 4.5 rushing yard square as well in this game, or receiving yard square. Let's see if that's still at 4.5.
Could be the difference.
Is it even up? Where did it go? Here she is. Good. And then what's
There
your
it is.
word that I'm missing in the NFL game? It's the receiver.
Elijah Moore.
Sure. How could I forget? AD, Bo Nix, Nick Chubb, and Elijah Moore, chat. Don't just sit there. Okay, you got some options for today. Okay? Trent is up 74 units in the last week. No way he's up that many units. If he is, that's impressive. All right, chat. It's going to be the Utah Hockey Club winning the squad ride poll by 1 vote. They pull it out over the Tulane Green Wave, Jovan. That was a close poll.
Wow.
All right. We're going to the ice. Utah with a buzzer beater, chat, for the squad ride. Let's get off on the right foot here in December with the squad ride W tonight on the ice and plus chicken. All right? W's.
Let's go.
Chat, hope you guys have a great Monday. Good luck tonight. Don't spend all your units, all your bankroll on this moose shit slate, but there are still units to be made, coins to be made, and bets to hit. All right, we'll catch you guys tomorrow, same time, same place. And go ahead and cue up the Elmo. Cue up the Elmo meme. And we'll catch you guys tomorrow, same time, same place. We'll be. Peace, guys.